Alright, so this is my half pad collection. If I can save you some time and money by explaining what I've discovered over the past few years and what works and why, all the better. Saddle fit is absolutely crucial for a happy horse and a good ride, so this has ended up with the accumulation of a lot of half pads. So this is my favorite half pad. It's the Ultra Thinline. It has the Thinline material on top, which is breathable and absorbs impact, and you can insert shims in front or in back. You just slide them in here and it's great. You can put them wherever you need to. It has a full sheepskin fleece on the other side, and it does a fantastic job. This billet is long enough to reach all the way back. If you have a dressage saddle that has a longer billet, it reaches all the way back. So you can also get this in white and it looks fabulous. And you can use this directly against the horse, or if you want to keep it nice, you can use it with a thin square or like a baby pad. And I've had this for about 2 years now, and it still looks really, really wonderful. So I can't say enough good things about this. So my recommendation is, if you're buying only one, buy a half pad that has pockets for shims. I recommend the Thinline, but my friends have the Mattis half pad and love them too. So either way, if you can only afford one, get one that has the ability to shim. All right. The next one that I have is a Christ half pad by Horseman's Dream. This is an early model. The label's not even on it. I think it was one of their prototypes. I did show this in my other video, but it's just an example of a classic sheepskin half pad, so I wanted to include it here as well. So again, you can use it on its own or on top of a square pad. The limitations are it just adds a little bit of thickness, and there are no place to add shims. So, and it's white, so it's a little hard to keep clean, but there's ways to make it cleaner. I might do a separate video on that. So that's, Christ Horseman's Dream half pad, sheepskin, white, and sheepskin is great because it transfers heat very well and it helps with impact. Again, with any of these half pads, it's only going to make it better if the saddle fits correctly or is slightly too wide. If it's too narrow, there's no hope. Just throw out the saddle, sell it, not throw it out, and get a new saddle, because you can't add more padding to a saddle that's too narrow. Many of you may have seen this type of pad. This is a wool felt. It's quite dense. It's got this keyhole here. It's called a wither relief, but this is not where the wither goes through. So it does provide some ventilation, and it has a synthetic wool fleece, and then it's quite thick. So if your saddle is too wide and you need to add thickness, you can put this on. There are no billets, straps, or keepers of any kind, so you have to have a horse that's not too round. This one is made by Toclot. You can see there. If I can get it to show up. Anyway, that's a Toclot half pad, and all that does is add thickness. So if the saddle is too wide, again, you can put this in and then put a square pad underneath, or just use it alone. Now, when we talk about half pads, we also talk about saddle fit. So I'm going to go over some therapeutic half pads I happen to have. One is Equa Gel. The cover's quite dirty, but there's a gel pad under here, and it actually absorbs impact. So if you're learning to sit the trot, or the horse is a little sore, not drastically sore, but a little sore, and you need something until the chiropractor comes and he's not sore enough that you need to completely stop riding, you can use the gel pad. It also has kind of fills in the space. The limitation or the problem with the gel pad, this is the Aqua Gel, is that it can get really hot, and because it does move around, there will be like hollow spots. I can't explain it very well, but gel has its uses short term. So okay, and then I like the Thinline. Thinline also absorbs impact, but it is breathable. So the other problem with the gel pad is it's really not breathable. So again, it creates heat. Thinline is breathable, and again, like if you're learning to sit the trot, or your saddle's maybe just a hair too wide, you can put that in, and the material keeps it from slipping, so it helps the saddle stay exactly where you put it on the pad. But you don't want to use this against the horse's skin, so you'd put this on top of the square pad. This is a super core pad. Again, it provides protection, so it absorbs impact. And the great thing about it, compared to the gel pad or that other Thinline, not the first Thinline, is it has wither relief. So if you have a horse with high withers, this will provide some protection if you're learning to sit the trot or jumping new fences, or for some reason need that impact absorption. But it's cut high enough that it's not going to pull down. So yeah, that's the super core pad, and it looks like this after some years of use. I used it on and off when I was doing a lot of sitting trot work, or we were going further in terms of jumping height and stuff like that. And it also has this honeycomb support, so it's also breathable. These are all perforations, so that's kind of nice too. All of those half pads are on the pricier side. So if you have a saddle that's too wide and you need a bit of a lift, this is the Windtech Lift front pad. It's cut nice and high, so if you have a horse with high withers, that's good. It's quite thick, this riser in front. So if you don't want it this high up, I guess you could cut it off or something, but it has limitations there. And the other kind of neat thing about it is it has a channel. It will help keep pressure off the spine and get the heat to vent up. It's got 2 vent holes. It works all right. And then lastly, I just wanted to give an example of like what a super thin baby pad looked like. So that's kind of like a super thin baby pad. So if you needed a half pad and your saddle fit really well, you'd only want something very thin. If your saddle fit was a hair wide, you could use a normal normal thickness square pad, excuse me. And then these are 2 examples of no slip pads. So these are tacky. You would actually put this on and then the square pad, and it would keep the saddle from shifting from side to side. This is the professional choice version in black. And this is the Wilkers version. Looks like that. And then it has this, again, it's that kitchen shelf material, so it keeps it from slipping. And this looks a little nicer than the professional choice if it happens to stick out. It looks pretty good. And then an example of shims. So Thinline offers a number of different shims that fit into those pockets. And they're that impact material. So you can add an entire layer if you need to. If your saddle fitter or vet thinks you need that much more of that Thinline material. And then you can also these are the Mattis shims. And it's this felt-like material. Looks like that. And they're meant for the Mattis half pad, but you can use it in the Thinline half pad as well. So If you don't need something as thick as the Thinline, just a little bit extra, you can put that in there. So that's everything. I hope I haven't bored you to tears. A saddle fit is just so important, and it's something you'll get better and better at evaluating over the years. So watch lots of videos, talk to lots of saddle fitting experts, and yeah, get a half pad that has pockets for shims, and continue to learn. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.